What name is guy? Itauma. Moses Itauma. I think he's a great fighter. The young, 20 years, yeah?
20.
Yeah, 20 years. I think Itauma have big future.
One question about the Usyk situation. I read a lot of people are saying you've only spent 1 hour in the ring if you add up all your time. Is that 1 hour enough for you to fight one of the greatest fighters of all time?
Is that my fault that I spent an hour in the ring?
That's part of the decision-making process. We're getting that start from 12 to 3. How do we get rounds?
One of the things that me and my team have stressed out.
I don't know, like I say, with the exception of like Usyk, I think Callout gives him life and death. I don't know who else there is, to be honest with you. I think there's only those two really. They're the only two viable fighters on the planet right now that would give this young kid problems, because I see this young kid giving everybody else absolute life.
Like playing out, who do you make the favourite?
You know, look, it's a good fight to make. Dillian White's got the experience. He's also he can punch. He's strong. He's a big unit. But can he negate the speed, the power, and the ferocity of this young heavyweight coming? And he gives angles. He's a good boxer as well. So that's the thing. You've got experience against somebody who's up and coming that hasn't been tested yet, because he's so sharp, so deadly.
Absolutely. Here's a polished, cinematic 934-word rewrite of your text. It keeps your rich detail and insight, but sharpens pacing, flow, and voice. Ideal for an article, documentary narration, or YouTube storytelling format. Oleksandr Usyk versus Moses Itauma. The generational collision Tyson Fury.
Does he have a weakness?
Little bit, yes. Little bit, yes, because maybe it's a younger guy, maybe, I don't know. Yeah, but...
Couldn't resist jumping into the conversation. Swaggering as always, his words dripping with bravado. Boxing's a young man's game, he declared. The new blood, like Moses, is ready to take over. It was vintage Fury, bold, fiery, and deliberately provocative. With that single statement, he reignited...
Did you make of Moses' win on the weekend? What did you think?
The great man, the great fight. I think Itauma, it's future for boxing. I like this guy.
He says he's ready for you now at 20 years old.
Yeah. Yeah.
One of boxing's oldest debates, youth versus experience. He jabbed at the veterans, suggesting the future belonged to fearless young lions like Itauma. But beneath the showmanship, the truth is far more complex. Oleksandr Usyk may be older, but his recent performances, masterclasses against Anthony Joshua...
Guys, because Moses is definitely right now, he's the future of the heavyweight division. He's an outstanding talent, and I want to see him in with some real live, active guys now. I think the Hrgovic fight's a good fight. I mean, Parker's there, I think that's a good fight, although he's probably looking at the...
And Daniel Dubois have only reinforced one thing: he's fighting smarter than ever. Fury's words may add spice to the story, but even he knows brilliance doesn't age easily. Strength fades, genius endures. And inside the ring, it's not the youngest fighter who wins. It's the one who can outthink the storm. Gareth A. Davies, the journalist, lends veteran...
If I was to go in there and win, then I'm the heavyweight champion of the world. But if I go in there, God forbid I lose, it's like I've just lost to Usyk, who was the heavyweight champion of the world, and I was 20 years old. So it's a win-win situation.
Boxing analyst Gareth A. Davies brought a more analytical perspective. For him, the question wasn't about hype. It was about purpose. Commercially, it's fascinating, he admitted. But what does it really do for Usyk's legacy? It's a fair question. Usyk has already conquered 2 divisions and unified both, a rare feat in modern boxing. He's climbed every mountain there is to climb.
One of the things that me and my team have stressed out is getting rounds. But like, the reason why we would fight Usyk, but then we still want rounds, is because the fact that there's a win-win situation with Usyk.
So what value is there in facing a 20-year-old prospect who, while talented, hasn't yet earned a seat among the elite? And yet, Davies acknowledged another truth. Usyk has never been a fighter who chooses comfort. He competes to prove something, not to protect something. Davies explained, if he takes that fight, it won't be for the money or the record, it'll be for the challenge. If that pride leads him to...
There's some good fights to be made. That's a consideration we'll look at.
Usyk next.
We're going to sit down. We're not making any decisions tonight. We'll
Except, it could spark a genuine generational clash. The master craftsman versus the fearless apprentice. Dave Coldwell. The trainer's truth-respected trainer Dave Coldwell offered one of the most balanced takes. His admiration for both fighters was clear. "I love Moses's confidence," he said. "That's what makes him special." But admiration aside, Coldwell drew a clear line between youthful aggression and elite composure. "Usyk might be older," he said, "but he's still poetry in motion. His IQ is unmatched. His composure is unreal." Coldwell sees what most overlook. Usyk isn't slowing down. He's refining. "What I see," he continued, "is evolution. He's conserving energy, managing distance, fighting smarter."
Oleksandr Usyk, or is that too soon?
To leave Usyk alone. Usyk's a beast, man. Different beast.
Viewers may believe he's ready, but readiness against Usyk is an illusion. That final line landed like a truth bomb. The kind of insight only a trainer who's studied greatness up close can deliver. Sergey Lapin, the insider's warning. Sergey Lapin, a key figure inside Usyk's camp, echoed that same caution. Calm, measured and respectful. Lapin didn't dismiss Itauma's potential. "He's strong, disciplined, confident," Lapin said, even praising the young fighter's impressive win over Dillian Whyte. But then came the warning. Quiet, honest, and unmistakable. Right now, it would be very dangerous for him. Coming from someone who has watched Usyk up close, the preparation, the mental traps, the rhythm manipulation, that warning carries serious...
At the same time, he may go in there and get absolutely schooled by Oleksandr Usyk. Or he might knock him out. I don't know. But I, personally, at 20, you know, you got to get it right. And Frank, like I said, Frank knows what he's doing. And I think I'd be very surprised if they took that kind of test.
Wait, he makes you question everything. Lapin explained. Your plan, your timing, even your identity as a fighter. Facing Usyk too early, he warned, could be career-defining, but not in the way Moses hopes. Russ Amber. The veteran's perspective renowned trainer Russ Amber, who's worked with champions across generations, echoed the same blend of admiration and realism. He praised Itauma's calm under pressure, his technical ability, and his raw talent. "Moses is a genuine talent," he said. "But skill alone doesn't prepare you for someone like Usyk."
Potentially another rising heavyweight that can dominate the division. Why spoil it? Just think, you know what? Sometimes you've got to lose a battle to win a war. So I'd be a bit smart. And I'm not saying he gets turned over by Usyk because you don't know how good this kid is. What I'm saying is, I just won't do it. It's not a risk because he's the future. Usyk's at the stage where he's probably 1 or 2 fights ready to walk away. Moses is 20 years old, so he's the guy that will...
Amber described it with a metaphor that fit perfectly. Facing Usyk is like playing chess against a grandmaster before you've even learned all the moves. You might be gifted, but he's been studying the game for decades. That's what makes Usyk so dangerous. He doesn't just fight his opponent's body, he fights their instincts, their habits, their confidence. Every second in the ring is a test of identity. Amir Khan. The voice of experience. Even Amir Khan, once Britain's teenage prodigy, weighed in with words that carried the weight of experience. Having lived through the highs and heartbreaks of early fame, Khan spoke with empathy. "I understand the hunger," he said.
Boxing is a young man's game. Like I told Vladimir Klitschko when he was 37. Boxing's a young man's game and he waits for nobody. So here's the opinion, you've heard it here first. Moses Itauma will wreck all them old men out of the division. Usyk, AJ, Miller, whoever there is who's old, Zhang, whoever else there is, Luis Ortiz, all these big names of the past are all a spent force. And even the world champion now, if they took my belts and give them to Usyk, Moses will wreck him. Because he's a young man versus an old man.
"I was there. You want to prove yourself right now. But trust me, patience is power." Khan's message was simple but powerful. Greatness can't be rushed. Facing someone like Usyk too soon can leave scars that last a lifetime, he warned. There's no shame in waiting. There's wisdom in timing. He would know, having tasted both glory and regret before most fighters even peak. The bigger picture. The buzz surrounding a potential Usyk versus Itauma showdown has lit up the boxing world. It's a story rich in contrasts. On one side stands Oleksandr Usyk, the calm, cerebral craftsman who turns chaos into rhythm. A man who makes giants look ordinary through sheer intelligence.
Sure that Usyk will want to fight Moses if he's 40 already. So maybe the clock is ticking, the clock is clicking, the clock is ticking for Moses to fight Usyk before he's 40. Maybe as well, he won't want to ruin his legacy, but maybe if Turki Al-Sheikh wants to see the fight, put up enough money, maybe he will fight him, and maybe the legacy will be ruined. But maybe if he fights him before he's 40, is the risk
precision. On the other stands Moses Itauma, a fearless 20-year-old prodigy, burning with belief, desperate to prove that the new era has already begun. It's the timeless duel of boxing's DNA: experience versus energy, IQ versus instinct, legacy versus potential. If Usyk accepts and wins, it will be another masterclass, another reminder that genius outlives youth. But if Itauma does the unthinkable, if he topples the master, it could mark the birth of a new age, the passing of the torch, the night the apprentice became the ruler. Either way, this wouldn't just be another heavyweight bout. It would be a generational collision, a battle between eras, philosophies, and the eternal struggle between what is and what's coming next. So the question lingers: is Oleksandr Usyk still untouchable, or is Moses Itauma truly ready to shock the world and rewrite the story of the heavyweight throne? Because if this fight ever happens, it won't just decide who wins, it'll decide whose time it really is. Would you like me to make this verse?
He's a fighter, he's a winner, he's got plenty of ambition, and he truly believes that he can go in there and beat any man in the world right now, and that includes Oleksandr Usyk. Do I personally think it's too soon? Yes, I do. Usyk's he's a different breed, he's a different fighter. Yes, he's getting older.
Voiceover optimized next, with punchier rhythm, dramatic pauses and cues for delivery, perfect for YouTube narration or promo trailer tone.
Last fight, Itauma, this good fight. Turkey is good man. This organizate more big fighter, more big event, and we see what we do, what next step, and we see what proposition with.
Could witness a generational clash. The master craftsman against the fearless apprentice. Trainer Dave Caldwell offered one of the most balanced takes of all. His respect for both fighters was clear. "I love Moses's confidence," he said. "That's what makes him special." But he also recognized the gulf between youthful aggression and elite experience. Usyk might be older, Caldwell noted, but he's still poetry in motion. His IQ is unmatched. His composure is unreal. Caldwell's tone carried that quiet respect only seasoned trainers have, the kind born from studying the craft up close. "People talk about Usyk slowing down," he said, "but what I see is a fighter who's evolving, conserving energy, managing distance, fighting smarter. Moses may believe he's ready, but as
I think Moses is one of the best young fighters boxing has seen in years, and I'm not just saying that based on a result over deal. You know, I hope you understand that when I look at a fighter, I'm looking at things that others don't see. I'm not looking at the hype. I'm looking at what he does in the ring, how he does it, his skill set. You know, I'm looking at that because that's the important stuff. And right now, to me, he's shown probably a better skill.
Well pointed out, readiness against Usyk is an illusion. Sergey Lapin, a member of Usyk's camp, added credibility to the cautionary voices. Calm and respectful, Lapin didn't dismiss Moses' talent. He actually praised it. He's strong, confident, and disciplined, he said, acknowledging the young fighter's rapid progress and recent win over Dillian Whyte. But then came the honesty. Right now, it would be very dangerous for him. Coming from someone who's witnessed Usyk's methods up close, his mental traps, his control, his tempo changes, that assessment carried weight. Lapin described how even elite fighters break under Usyk's pressure. He makes you question everything, he said. Your plan, your timing, your identity as a fighter. For Moses, facing that kind of opponent too early could be career-defining, but not necessarily in the way he hopes. Veteran trainer Russ Anber, who's worked with champions across generations.
You don't want to rush him. You want to take it easy. You want to take it slow. Don't rush him. Let him enjoy. He's still 20 years old. Let him get to 22, 23 years old, and that's then you start putting him in with the top names in boxing, like the Usyks and like the Wilders or even the Joshuas and the Furies. At the moment, I think you should keep on building him. Let him keep on winning.
Echoed that same respect. He credited Moses' technical growth and composure, calling him a genuine talent, but his tone revealed the same message: admiration tempered by realism. Skill alone doesn't prepare you for someone like Usyk, Anber explained. He doesn't just outbox you, he rewrites your rhythm, your confidence, your timing. Anber compared it to playing chess with a grandmaster before you've learned all the moves. You might be gifted, he said, but Usyk's been studying the game for decades. It was a perfect metaphor for what makes the Ukrainian such a special fighter. Mastery forged through endless refinement. Even Amir Khan weighed in, offering wisdom drawn from his own meteoric rise. Once the teenage prodigy of British boxing, Khan knows all too well the double-edged sword of early success. I understand the hunger, he said. I was there. You want to prove yourself right now. But trust me, patience is power. Khan urged Moses not to rush greatness, warning that facing a master like Usyk too soon could leave lasting scars. There's no shame in waiting, he said. There's wisdom in timing, and that's the heart of it. The buzz surrounding a potential Oleksandr Usyk versus Moses Itauma showdown has electrified the boxing world. On one side stands Usyk, the master craftsman, calm under pressure, a man who has made giants look ordinary through pure skill and intelligence. On the other side stands Moses, the fearless 20-year-old prodigy, brimming with ambition and the belief that he can change the guard. It's experience versus energy, IQ versus instinct, legacy versus potential. If Usyk takes the fight and wins, it would be another masterpiece, another reminder that the old master still rules the board. But if Moses does the unthinkable, it could mark the birth of a new era, the moment youth toppled mastery. Either way, this isn't just a fight, it's a generational moment in the making. So the question lingers, is Oleksandr Usyk still untouchable? Or is Moses Itauma truly ready to shock the world and rewrite the heavyweight story? Drop your thoughts below, because if this clash ever becomes reality, it won't just be a fight, it'll be a passing of torches, or a harsh reminder that the master still owns the throne.